Hi. What is suicide? What does it mean to you? I've been affected by suicide personally. I lost my mom at the age of 50. She suffered mental illness, paranoia, schizophrenia, and she eventually died in the hospital of self-starvation and self-dehydration. She gave up. She was 50. That was in 1990. And in 2009, I lost my dad, unfortunately, to suicide. He was 73, and he jumped in front of a train. I lost my first cousin on my father's side to suicide due to his wife leaving him with taking the 3 kids. So he went into his pickup truck and grabbed the gun out of his glove compartment and put the gun up to his temple and blew the trigger. And his mom came home 10 minutes later to find his dead body. And most recently, my 26-year-old nephew committed suicide intentionally with a deadly mix of alcohol and heroin. So I would say I've been affected by suicide, and I've been hospitalized many times for suicide threats, and I've had a couple of suicide attempts. I've had police at my house who took me to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. I've been struggling with depression, and sometimes I feel like I don't want to go on. I feel a lot of pain inside, isolation, depression. I have bipolar disorder. I'm struggling with gender issues. I live on Social Security disability, long-term disability, and Medicare, in addition to my wife's health insurance. I worked 35 years, 30 years in the accounting profession. I have no money in savings anymore. I almost lost my house to mortgage foreclosure. And my son is 18 and he's autistic. So I have a lot of issues and battles and struggles. And sometimes I believe it'd be best if I just ended my life. Sometimes I feel like that would be the best thing. I have thought about it many times. I feel very scared, lonely, isolated, unloved. I feel I have no one to talk to, no one who cares for me. I'm transitioning, and I bet many people don't understand the reasons why, but I know, and it is one of the best things I've done aside from getting married and having a son. I am happier as a female. though I still struggle with depression and feelings of suicide. It often comes to my mind that if I were to commit suicide, what would be the best way to go? And for me, simply, I would just drive to a parking lot, leave my engine on, play my music, and clog up my tailpipe. I would lock my doors, and I would just keep my music on with the engine on, and at some point I would believe that carbon monoxide would eventually seep into the car and slowly but surely put me to sleep. And I think that's one of the most painless and humane ways to take your life. I don't anticipate doing that in the immediate future. I see definitely doing it as I hit my 70s. So, hypothetically, I would have approximately another 14 to 15 years left in my life before I would take it. So it's not like I'm going to do it tomorrow. I would do it in a 14 to 15 year time frame. The only reason I would do it sooner is if the detested president, who I hate, were to take away my Social Security, disability, because then I would not be able to afford my home. So, if he were to take away my Social Security and Medicare, that would definitely push me over the edge sooner than the 71-year mark. So my wife and son would get my life insurance and prevent us from going into mortgage foreclosure. That's what I'm afraid of, that our president wants to cut taxes for the very wealthy and slash social programs and take away Social Security, disability, which is what I need to survive. And if he did that, he'd be cutting off my life supply of oxygen, and in effect, he'd be killing me. So he would technically be responsible for my suicide, because if I lose my Social Security disability, I would not be able to function. I would not be able to survive. I would not be able to pay for my mortgage. If my Social Security disability stays intact, then I don't need to worry. But it all hinges on the damn Republicans and Trump in their decision with what happens to my Social Security disability. I won't be able to survive if I lose it. I won't be able to pay for my mortgage. And I would just take an exit plan so my wife and some would be protected with my life insurance. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality that not only I face, but a lot of Americans face, because Donald Trump only cares about the rich. He doesn't care about people like myself. And I want people to know that. And that's why I do this video on YouTube, because I think Donald Trump is the worst president we ever had. And if he took away Social Security disability for the people who most need it, so he can give the rich tax breaks, he will destroy the fiber of what America stands for. And he would need to be put to justice, and I believe he should be impeached, because I worked 35 years, and it would not be fair to me to lose my Social Security disability, and my son also needs his Social Security disability due to his autism. So I believe firmly that I am justified in expressing my need for Social Security disability. I worked a long time, I worked hard, I paid into the system, and I'm not going to let some billionaire who doesn't care about us take monies that we deserve away from us so he can give the rich the biggest tax break ever. It's just not fair.